Well, hello. Hope everyone is having a great beginning of their week, Christmas week. Already doesn't feel like Christmas week, but it is. I hope everyone's had a great weekend. I just want to come on here and give a little bit of a recap over this past weekend's fights. Just some quick thoughts on it. I want to do this video separately over kind of how I usually do, where I do a recap of the week before and then hop into the next fights. I want to get this out of the way, start every video fresh, and then we can talk a little bit about the future of this channel afterwards. So we will run down. Actually, let's talk Canelo and Smith first. So Canelo Alvarez with a dominant one-sided decision victory. Um, he looked great. I mean, what can you say about him? Looks great at 168 pounds. Looks great at 160 pounds, 175 even. I'm not sure who's really going to pose much of a challenge to him right now. He seems to get better. Really, he gets better every fight. Uh, Smith didn't really execute a very good game plan. If he was going to stand a chance, which I thought he could if he was the bully, he needed to go out there and use his size to his advantage. I mean, he's 6'3" with that kind of reach. You know, I expected him to use his jab better when he needed to, but also be the aggressor. If you're 6'3" and you're going against somebody that's 5'8", and you're the one getting bullied around, you deserve to lose. But Canelo, is he thick out there or what? Uh, he's not fat. He's just thick. He's just a little tank out there. Granite chin, great defensive skills. Uh, you know, some interesting matchups I would like to see. Caleb Plant, Billy Joe Saunders. I always thought would be fun. Beterbiev would be a good matchup at 175. But anyway, so Canelo with a good victory there. Now we'll hop right into UFC Fight Night 183. Top to bottom, Wonderboy defeats Geoff Neal via unanimous decision. I mean, it was not even close really from start to finish. Wonderboy just dominated this fight. He was elusive, even for 37, 38 years old. Still has that great footwork. Uh, you know, able just the variety of strikes that he has in his arsenal. Geoff Neal just couldn't get close. I had Geoff Neal to win. I thought Wonder Boy would be winning the entire fight until Geoff Neal caught him. I thought it would only take one time. Um, but Neal could just never catch him. The few times that he did land, credit to Wonder Boy. His chin held up quite nicely. Um, so Wonder Boy with a great win there. It'll be interesting to see where he goes next. And same thing with Geoff Neal. Uh, Next up, Jose Aldo and Marlon Vera. I had Jose Aldo to win this fight. I like Marlon Vera, but Aldo proved that he's he may not be able to beat those top guys. But anything less than a top guy, he still has enough in the tank to handle business. It was 1-1 going into the third, and his fight IQ, I mean, get a win, and he did. Uh, Back control the entire third round, basically sealed the deal. So good win for Jose Aldo. Next up, Michel Pereira defeats Chaos Williams. Maybe not the most exciting fight that we might have thought would have been the outcome. But Michel Pereira, he impressed me because he's kind of a showman. He plays around too much in the octagon, but he showed off in this fight that he does have good fight IQ. Secured a late takedown, won the fight. avoided danger for the most part. And as I suspected, the better overall fighter just had to avoid that devastating power from Chaos Williams, and he did. Um, and I did score the fight for him as well. 29-28 was right. Uh, Next up, Rob Font defeats Marlon Moraes. I picked Marlon Moraes to win this fight, but if I had known that he's gonna go out there and wrestle, my goodness. I'll be out in a minute. Close the door. My goodness, you have suspect cardio. Rob Font's you know, no slouch on the ground as it is. Um, and you're gonna go out there and wrestle? Ah, Marlon Moraes. How far have you fallen? How many losses is that in a row? So he's lost 3 of his last 4, and his lone win was Jose Aldo, which was very debatable. All right, yeah. Moving on, Marcin Tybura defeats Greg Hardy via TKO punches late in the second round. It's funny, they were talking about I guess Greg Hardy um, kind of grades himself after his performances and how he's a B plus or something after his last fight, and how I think it was Bisping said after that first round, Greg Hardy was an A minus, and you know what? He looked like an A minus. He looked great, but he went from A minus to just straight flunking quick. I mean, it was like a 50 question test, and he got the first 10 right, and then he went out, got the next 10 wrong, and I said fuck this and just threw the test away and walked right out because pulled a massive stunt. Doesn't know what to do on his back whatsoever. He needs to go back to the drawing board because he's athletic, pretty good striker, no gas tank really. Clearly has no idea what to do when he's on the ground, at least when he's on his back. Um, so he needs to go back down in competition for sure. Next up, Showtime Pettis defeats Alex Morono. You know what? After that first round, I thought this was going to be it for Anthony Pettis, man. Um, you're on the prelims of a fight night against Alex Morono. You just dropped the first round. But you know what? Credit to Showtime. He bounced back, won the next 2 rounds convincingly. Hurt Alex Morono. I don't know if this is his last fight on this contract. Since he got a win, I suspect he'll stay around. But I also wouldn't be surprised if he went over to Bellator. I think he could make a much better run with the remainder of his career in Bellator with his brother Sergio. So we'll see what the future holds for him. But it was a good win for him. Still a minus 200 favorite. Anthony Pettis in the year 2020 is a pass every day. So moving on, Pannie Kianzad defeats Sijara Eubanks. Kianzad was my favorite underdog on the card. I knew she could keep the fight standing. She stood a great chance of winning. Her striking is very crisp. And she dropped the first round. Sijara, being the bigger, stronger grappler, was able to get her down in the first and have control time. But credit to Pannie Kianzad for coming through for me in the second and third rounds. So good win for her. Quickly, Duran Win gets a win over Antonio Arroyo. This was a pass for me because I suspected if Duran Win can go out there and get takedowns and actually maintain some kind of top control, he'll win 2 out of 3 rounds, and that's exactly what he did. So we're not gonna. Oh, you know what? Jimmy Flick defeats Cody Durden. I had Jimmy Flick to win this fight via submission. I picked him to win in the third round. He got the submission in the first round. Good win for Jimmy Flick. His submission skills are really good. Be interesting to see where he goes next. Cody Durden is a good fighter, so I'll be interested to see where he goes next as well. So that is no fight of the night bonus awarded. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. There's no real great fight that I saw. I did miss a few of these fights, but performance of the night: Stephen Thompson, absolutely. Rob Font, yes, but more so because Marlon Moraes just had the strangest game plan. Marcin Tybura, like, yeah, I guess, and Jimmy Flick, yes. All right, so moving forward, as we have already gone longer than I'd like. So I would like to do more frequent videos. There are some interesting fights coming up. There's a nice layoff for starters. I like it when UFC takes 2, 3, 4 weeks off. You know, it's just good to have a break. But there are some interesting spots coming ahead. I would like to release my first video of a new I don't know what you want to call it, but just like a new style of videos coming up maybe this week, maybe a couple of them, where I just kind of break down each fight one by one and give my take on it, provide you guys with some research or insight, maybe how I see things in that fight playing out, that sort of thing, and just have a conversation about it. So that's kind of where I'm going. Some interesting fights, to say the least, coming up. We've got Holloway versus Cater, great fight coming up on January 16th. But yeah, so hopefully you guys will see me later this week with one of those new videos, and I hope to see you guys there. Leave a comment below in the chat. I see you back there. I told you I'll be out in a minute. It's my son. So, probably wants to play the Switch. Should I let him? Yeah, I guess. All right, guys. Have a good night.